Today we have three drivers with three different price points. One coming at £129, one coming at £250 and one coming at your standard over £500 and one of your latest premium drivers. You can probably see by the head covers which one is which. Let's get into it. Now obviously with drivers, and we did this with driving irons last week on the channel, but what we want to do is start to see obviously performance wise, money saved, is a better option for you guys? Is second hand a better option? Because obviously when we're talking about golf, we're talking about price, we're talking about performance really. It's not really about price. For me, a lot of it is down to how do they perform. Is a driver that's going to cost you £600 going to perform extremely better? Is it going to be 20 yards further than something that's going to cost you £200? Is it going to be better than a second-hand driver? For example, if you get last year's model for £300 instead of the latest for £600, are you really going to see a huge difference? First driver up is the cheapest. We saw by the head cover, this is the McGregor Vmax Speed driver. Again, as you would expect, looks leave a lot to be desired. So yes, we do have that chevron style in the middle of the head. We also have McGregor at the bottom, which is very much like the Callaway AI Smoke, to be honest. We have that outer ring on there. And again, on the face, we have the huge Vmax logo on there. So very much exactly what you are expecting to pay for this. One downside of this driver, again, before we start the test, is obviously it only comes in a regular shaft. So a shame really, because I really enjoyed this driver. Performance-wise, performed pretty well, but we've only got that regular shaft. But again, how does it do out here? And an off-centered hit there, just down the left side of the fairway. A great bounce there into the fairway, but so easy to hit. And for me, obviously, with that driver, it's very much, yes, it is cheap and cheerful. It's £129 if you're getting into golf or you're just trying to play golf on a budget. A fantastic driver. Sounds exactly like you'd expect, but I would say performs a lot better than it should do. For £129, inside, I have done the testing with this. We are going to go back inside and see what I can get. I was around about 270 yards, but that is more the shaft, not the club. But again, dispersion with that. And again, there, not a fantastic strike. First drive of the day, but it's in the fairway. It certainly makes golf very easy. The next one up here is a £250 driver from 11. So we know these guys are mainly known for their hybrid irons, but they have ventured out, or they have branched out into drivers now, and putters have just been released. Premium components here, so a KBS shaft here, which is an upcharge on a lot of premium brands. So straight away there, £250. Are we just paying that extra £100 or £120 for the shaft? That's the big point here. Are we getting the right shaft now, which makes it worth spending that little bit more money? But as we also know, you could potentially go and get a driver from somewhere like Golf Clubs for cash. £250, if that's your budget, you could go and get something with a premium shaft in, with a shaft that you would expect. Straight away here, if we have a look at this from the top, we've now got a chrome finish, very much a Titleist-esque looking club from the top. Again, a little bit sharp edge here on the end of the toe, which is one thing that I noticed before. We haven't got this in the hands of mid-handicap Dave yet, but a nice blacked out face. So again, you can't see the lines on there like the McGregor. We know we've got the super stroke grip on here. I did think that felt fantastic. Again, premium components. But how does it perform? So again, starting up the right, the toe strike there, but drawing back into the fairway. So it'll be interesting there. One off the heel from the McGregor, one off the toe from the 11. But both in the fairway. It'll be very interesting there to see, obviously, off-centered hits, how they have performed, because after all, that's what we're probably looking at more. Yes, we don't hit the ball out of the centre every time. It would be fantastic if we do. So we need to see, if we are spending that money, are we still getting forgiveness? It'll be very interesting to see down there, has one performed better than the other, or has it done all right? The final driver we are going to be testing is the latest driver I've been fitted for, so the PXG0311 Black Ops driver, which is the first driver I've been fitted for on the channel and is in the bag as we speak. So again, been driving the ball very well with this. This is obviously completely different to the other two. So when we talk about the other two, we know they are more direct to consumer, you buy offline. I believe you can go and get fitted for the 11 driver, so that's something that you might do in Hereford. But with this, fully fitted out in Arizona, out at the Scottsdale National at the PXG headquarters. So that's maybe what you are paying for. That's the difference between £120 and £600. So obviously we know there is a big jump in there, but you're getting fitted, the shaft's right for you, you're not just buying offline. And this is where you have to think, where do you want to spend your money? Is it this club that you want to spend your money on? Or can you spend less and get the same performance or just as good performance? But that is well struck, good swing on that, and that is straight down the middle of this fairway. So we're going to head down there and see how that is done. That one is out of the middle, so it'll be interesting to see one out of the middle, how much further has that gone than the off-centre strikes with those clubs. But for me, all of these drivers have great performance for their price points. Again, it'll be very interesting to see the numbers inside shortly. Let's go and have a look where they are before we jump in that studio. And as we walk down here, guys, get in the comments below, what have you spent on your latest driver? Is it new? Is it old? Is it direct to consumer? Is it second hand? Where did you get it from and how are you getting on? Because that's what we want to know. What are you spending your money on? What do you want to see on the channel? We know Dave recently has been getting fitted for a new driver shaft, so we're going to get out here actually today here at Woolley Park and put it to the test. We're going to have a scoring round. We're going to have a scoring 9 holes here at Woolley. Will the new all singing, all dancing shaft in that driver help him lower his scores, or should he look at another option? So guys, comment below, what have you got? But let's get down there. So interesting down here, we have the first McGregor, which is in the fairway. Par 5 would give me a chance to reach there, even from an off-centered strike. Again, just right there is that 11 driver. So I don't know if that's had or clipped this tree right here, but a toe strike, 2 bad strikes there, very consistent in what we've got. But the well-struck PXG that is £500 more, nearly, than this Certain McGregor driver is a good 60 yards in front. So let's jump in the studio, let's see how they do, let's see what numbers we can get as an average before we jump on to the 18th hole. So let's start with the PXG now inside. Again, outside, exactly what you would expect. You're paying the price, it is fitted. It was then obviously the longest drive, but also it was the only one that came out of the middle. So is that because of fitting? Is it because it was the third and final shot I hit? So we're going to hit 3 balls each in here and obviously see what we can get. And for me, the biggest thing we're looking for is probably your front to back dispersion. So if you're looking at saving money or you're losing a lot front to back, we know, like we've talked about outside, the shaft's not necessarily the right shaft in the McGregor. Obviously it performed pretty well. So straight away there, just like outside, a good strike from the driver, from the PXG even. 275 carry, going 293. Straight down the middle, 1,800 spin, exactly what I would expect to see realistically. Again, the fitting of this driver is on the channel, but it was in a different location. Again, another good strike. Let's see what the carry is, consistency. 271, going 292. Or just under that. So exactly what we're expecting from a premium fitted driver. We're seeing great front to back dispersion. Yes, I've got to control the club face. Yes, this was fitted out in Arizona by PXG's top fitter. So again, thank you to Brian for doing that for me a couple of weeks ago. Right, interesting, that's going to be a spinny one. So you see it launched a little bit higher, a little bit bottom off the face, 260 carry, 257, going 270. So yes, there with an off-centered hit, I lost 20 yards. That's interesting because that's probably what you would expect anyway from a miss hit, but it was still down the middle, still in play, and not bad. Let's go now, opposite end of the spectrum now, let's go to the McGregor. So, like we say, total different look down behind the golf ball as we know. And again, a regular shaft. So we're probably going to see that, yes, this doesn't go as far, and I have tested this on the channel before, but obviously it's all about accuracy and front to back. Let's see what we can get. Same loft as the PXG. Straight away a totally different sound, as you'll hear there. But what's the carry? 250 carry, running out to 270. Again, that was very much off the bottom, so interesting there, a bottom strike, the same as the last strike with the PXG, and it's gone just as far there. So off-centre strikes for me, £129, well over £500 for the PXG. Right, slight misstrike again. Have I lost a lot there? 250 going 265. So again, club face control is going to start to go a little bit with this driver because of that shaft, but front to back there, another miss hit. Only 5 yards in it with both miss hits. I'd say that's pretty good. That's out of the middle. I couldn't hit that much better, so let's see what that does. 260 carry, going out to 281. So we gained probably, let's say 10 yards carry, 5 yards carry there, but we got it out to 281. So 10 yards behind another driver. Again, wrong shaft. This is really why I would like to test this driver, or maybe we change this shaft, put a premium shaft in it and see how far we can actually get. Can it go as far? Because there, from a good strike, the same as a PXG, we're 10 yards down. So final one up is the 11 driver. So again, looking down at the golf ball straight away, we see that it looks a little bit more premium than McGregor. £250, so still half the price of the PXG. Looks very Titleist-esque for me, but we've got a premium shaft in this driver. A great strike straight away there with that driver. So how far will that go? 278 carry going 298. So the longest carry and the longest total there. So interesting enough, we've gone cheaper in maybe the head design, but we've got a premium shaft in there to balance that out, and the furthest drive, and it certainly felt fantastic off the face. So let's go one more. Or two more even. Right, there's one that is off-centered, face open, that's more me, but miss hit. 255 going 270 or just under. So again, off-centered hits, not too far behind the PXG, which was misstruck. So interesting there. One more. Again, a little bit off the bottom, but how has that performed? 270 carry, running out to 286. So dispersion, maybe not as good as with the perfectly fitted PXG. Interesting numbers in there, but let's get back out onto the 18th hole at Woolley Park and let's see which one you will be spending your money on. But this is where it all matters. You're on the 18th tee, Club Championships. You want to take on that aggressive line. Does this driver fill you with confidence? Do you have the trust in it to swing it like you want to and find that fairway? I think you can with this. Not the best swing there up the right hand side, but that is in the fairway. That's left me 150 yards in. I've still got a chance on this hole. So this is where, for me, yes, the numbers are exactly what they are inside. We know we're restricted a little bit with this McGregor, but it's still giving me that confidence on the tee. And for me, that's what it all comes down to. Yes, it wants to fill me with confidence, but it has to perform. And that McGregor for me is outperforming its price. If we talk about that, I think it's performing a lot better than its £129 price tag. But now in with the 11. And again, a toey strike there, but that's up the centre stripe there. Past the McGregor, a little bit better strike. And again, that for the price and where I struck that has performed exceptionally well. So £250, again, I would say outperforming its price tag. But finally in with the Black Ops, finally in with the 0311 PXG. And for me, you just know what you're getting. You know when you go into a shop, you know when you go for a fitting and you're trying a premium club, you know you're going to get that premium look from the top. You're also going to get the premium sound and feel, which is massive for me. Again, those are performing well, certainly sounding a little bit different, but if that's all you're bothered about, they're performing well, they're performing above the price tag. This also, I would say, performs just as good as its price tag. That's going to be a long way down there. For me, that just gives me the confidence. I, yes, have been fitted for this club, and again, when we talk about value for money, 500 to 600 pounds, I would say it's performing exactly how I like it. Premium shaft, I know the head's fitted for me and it's doing exactly what I want. The other two drivers are also doing that. Yes, they're not maybe feeling as good, maybe they're not looking as good as this, but you're getting them at a price point and they're performing exactly how you would expect. They're performing fantastically well and they could perform well for you. So certainly options to look out for, certainly things to consider. Or are you still thinking maybe second hand is your option, maybe go a year older and go somewhere like Golf Clubs for Cash? And this could very much answer your question up here. Here we have the McGregor, which again wasn't a bad strike but wasn't perfect. The 11 driver again was still not centered, but then we can see down there the PXG. So this is a good view, I would say. £129, £250, and down there £550. So does that answer your question? That's the big thing there. We can see, yes, it took a little bit of a better line, the PXG, but it's over 100 yards in front of that McGregor. Again, we can see the 11 is right in the middle. So is it worth paying that extra money? For me right there, that is probably justifying paying that extra money. I've gained 100 yards, I've stood in there with confidence, I haven't swung it any different, but I feel like I've got a little bit more control. So plenty of options out there. Which one would you go for? And is it going to be worth the money that you will spend?